Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on KCBQ 1170. My name is Kyle Whissel. I'm joined by Jason Hall with Sierra Pacific Mortgage, also Heather Brandt from BFI Insurance Services. And Heather, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what exactly you do. We've kind of heard about how you've gotten to where you are, but what can you do to help our clients out?
So I have an individual insurance brokerage. The name is BFI Insurance Services. It stands for Brandt Financial Insurance. I actually created it about 3 years ago based upon that I wanted to do business with my family agency. It was going to be Brandt Family Insurance Services. And my father, as I mentioned in the last segment, has been a farmer's agent for 30 years. And I have had so much love and respect for that man, and his clients love and respect him so much that I wanted to take on the same type of career. And was a farmer's agent, dropped out from being captive to that one company to starting up BFI Insurance. So this is a full service brokerage for property and casualty. We also deal with health insurance. Our main focus is property and casualty. So homeowners insurance, auto insurance, landlord protector insurance for those property managers that have a bunch of different properties and real estate investments. We do commercial insurance, it's my specialty. I deal with workers' compensation, general liability, employers' practices, liability insurance, commercial auto. So in our company we deal with all the different lines of insurance, and we want to provide the service to our client to have everything with our company under one roof. It's a big inconvenience to a lot of different clients when they have their insurance with multiple different brokerages and have to get multiple different certificates of insurance when they're dealing with a job. Instead, when you're under a time crunch, you come to us, you have all your insurance all underneath one roof. We can provide you your certificate of insurance on the spot to your companies that you're working a job for, so the job's not prolonged, and so you can get paid quicker.
Definitely.
And
one day I'm going to have all my insurance through you. I know that I reached out to Heather not too long ago, and she put together quotes on all the different properties I have. I mean, everything that we have going on, and it really is nice, because right now I think I've got one company for business liability insurance, another for workers' comp, some for my personal residence, some for investment property, and it's a pain in the butt keeping track of all that and trying to, I don't even remember who my insurance agents are on half of those policies. So I mean, having everything under one roof, especially for, you know, business owners, somebody who's really, you know, out there working hard and has a lot of other stuff going on, you don't have time to spend chasing down all these different people. So having everything under one roof is definitely a huge convenience.
absolutely, it's very convenient for my clients, plus being able to have the service of one agency to come to.
And somebody has the experience. I mean, you were raised, literally your dad's been an insurance agent before you were born, and so you were raised around insurance, so you know all the lingo, all the stuff. So although you're in your mid-20s, you still know way more than some of the agents probably maybe even in their 40s, because it's an industry, you know, kind of like real estate, Kyle, and lending. A lot of people pop in, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to be a realtor, or I'll be a lender, or hey, I'm going to be an insurance agent.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen that, and they hit up all their friends, and then a year later, they're no longer in the business because they couldn't make it. You know, it is a unique business. You have to have unique skills. So, congratulations.
Thank you. And you know, I've been distracted in many different arenas when I was starting in the insurance industry, to take me into real estate, or to take me into doing makeup, or to take me into fashion. And for some reason, I just kept my focus on being driven toward insurance because I can see value in it. I can see value for my future. I can see value for my future income for my family. And it's one of those products that everybody needs.
Everybody needs. It's required. If you own a home and have a mortgage on it, you got to have insurance.
Right.
You own a car, you got a car loan. You got to have insurance. In fact, it's a state law, even if you don't have a loan on it, right? I mean, California state law for auto. So that's something that everybody's going to need, and that's great service, and you need to find a great agent. So if you're out there, Heather is a great individual. Just talking to her the last week, you learned so much about her. She truly loves the Lord. So for those out there that are faith-based, you know, you want a faith-based agency, you know, think of Heather and BRI, or BFI, I apologize to Heather, as a great example. And our text line, you can text to get more information. Want to go ahead and give that out, Kyle?
Yeah, so if you want to connect with Heather, find out more about what she's doing over at BFI Insurance, 619-663-CELL, 619-663-7355. We can definitely get you connected with Heather. So I want to ask you, Jason bought a house about a year ago and completely gutted the house and ultimately remodeled everything. When I say gutted, I mean floor is gone, every wall, drywall, electrical, plumbing, the whole nine was ripped out, redone. I mean, they did an amazing job with the remodel. Or I should say Amanda did a good job with it. Jason was just kind of there.
Just kept making loans, man.
Yeah.
Just keep doing loans.
He just keeps working.
So want to find out if somebody's buying a home and they're going to do a huge remodel like that, is it a normal insurance policy that they're going to get, or is it going to be a different kind of policy?
It's a different kind of policy. We want to provide them a vacancy property insurance policy, and I work through a company, Real Estate Insurance Investors is the company's name, and I go through them to deal with my homes that are being flipped. And they're in the process of turning these houses around into a sale. And that's not a normal insurance policy because a lot of insurance companies don't want to take on that type of risk. Though this is a short-term policy, it's a month-to-month deal that when you're dealing with flipping a home, you pay month-to-month on this policy. It's a little more expensive because the risk is that this home is vacant. You can have anybody break into it at any time, so insurance companies see that.
But you're more covered. That's where
You're
right.
more covered, you're accurately covered, and if you don't insure that type of home accurately underneath this type of vacancy policy, and there were to be a fire, or there were to be a claim, or vandalism, a normal homeowner's insurance policy will not cover your
Wow, so listen to that,
your
flippers.
claim.
I know Kyle and I are looking at each other like, wow. A lot of us try to save a buck, and then we're not covered. The whole reason we have insurance is to be covered. We try to save $1, and if we do have a claim, we assumed it was covered, but some of us, like in the position, we were fortunate not to have anything happen. But I probably wasn't properly covered because I probably didn't tell my insurance agent that I was going to get it all. And we did so much more than we thought we were going to do. We knew we were going to do a big remodel, but it literally, we took it down to the studs, knocked all the walls out, and did a bunch of different stuff, and it's a wonderful home.
Yeah, I was with one of the bigger insurance companies, we'll keep it nameless, but they were insuring all of my flip properties, and I made it super clear to them, hey, these are flips, we're going to be completely remodeling these. Like, oh yeah, you're covered, and somebody kind of planted the seed in my head that you might not be covered, you might want to check. And after talking to them more, they were like, well, if a claim did happen, and they showed up, and the walls were all opened up, and there was electrical exposed, and that might be a problem. Like, oh really, so you're just now going to tell me this?
So a lot of the captive companies don't provide this type of product, and when clients come to them because they think that, oh, farmers insurance or state farm insurance or, you know, these big companies need to insure me, the agents within these big companies sometimes aren't as honest with the client because they can't provide that type of policy for them. Though, now being a broker to having the accessibility to go through any insurance company and work for my client, not for the company, gives me the availability to actually look into it and make sure that we insure the client accurately. And going into real estate insurance investments company that I work with to deal with the flips allows my client to get the proper type of insurance that he needs. And we have all the companies to work with at our fingertips. We're appointed with all the large carriers, from Travelers Insurance to Progressive to Safeco to the Hartford to Allied, Liberty Mutual,
all the
all
underwriters,
of them.
all of them that do it.
Everybody.
But I think the biggest thing you're seeing there, Heather, is that you give them an honest thing. Hey, it's going to cost you a few bucks more, but we're going to get the proper coverage. But in case something happens, the whole reason why you get insurance is in case something happens, you're truly going to be covered. And if one of those houses that Kyle or I flipped or did wasn't properly covered, it would have been a disappointment with that relationship when the agent says, oh, I thought I told you it was covered, but I didn't really know you're doing this much of a flip, Mr. Hall or Mr. Whissel, and now we're not going to pay the $200,000 loss.
Right.
I mean, I would have a heart attack. I'm sure you would too, Kyle. I mean, that's nice that you're being honest. And again, to our listeners out there, you need to find somebody that you're working with in your insurance, your real estate, lending, any service that's truly honest, that has a good heart, that's going to be honest and upfront with you, because we see so many people that think they're approved when they're really not. Heard that again yesterday. I was talking to somebody, and I know you probably see that. So,
yeah.
So share a little bit more with that before we go to the break here on just being honest and making that difference.
Absolutely. Like I said, when you honor your words yourself, I can't live an honest life if I'm not honoring my word to my clients. I will start to feel so guilty if I'm not putting them in the right type of policy, or if I'm not being honest with them about their type of coverage, or if I'm insuring them inaccurately, which just sets me up for an errors and omissions claim later on in my future, and I can't live with that guilt. So the best advice that I can give to my clients is the sweet taste of a cheap price suddenly becomes sour when there's a claim.
Sweet taste becomes sour once it becomes a claim. I like that.
The sweet taste of a cheap price suddenly becomes sour as soon as you have a claim.
I'm going to have her do a script for me on loans when people are trying to save money. That was like $3 cheaper on mine, Jason. And then, of course, they don't close. They lose their earnest money deposit, or it closes late. You've seen a lot of those, Kyle. And people are trying to save a few bucks and end up either losing the house, losing the deposit, or being delayed days, if not weeks, we've seen happen.
Yeah.
So awesome, Heather. Awesome.
Definitely. So we're going to head to a break here, but when we get back, we're talking again with Heather Brandt, BFI Insurance. If you want to connect with Heather, shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. And Heather is a insurance broker, has access to a lot of different insurance companies. Jason, as a mortgage broker, you have similar access to loans. So when we get back, we're going to talk to Jason Hall of Sierra Pacific Mortgage a little bit more about that. My name is Kyle Whissel. You're listening to Whissel Wednesdays on KCBQ.